So what's up guys? So I want us to watch this video. This is the video that you will see how Mia Montly, she came out and she embarrassed all the corrupt leadership. She stood up when he was addressing, and she embarrassed all the corrupt leaders. One thing I like about Mia Montly is that she always supports the black people. Like, she always wants people to have their right. And one thing I love how the most is because she always stands with Africa. She has always supported Africa. She has always supported even the blacks who are living in Europe and other foreign lands. So guys, stay tuned, watch this message from Mia Mottley, and I'll be back with some comment.
Too many other major challenges. That's why I ask all the time, who sees us and who hears us? We continue to be confronted by problems of blacklisting, which pale into insignificance when compared to climate change, but which destroy our financial sector. The illicit flow of weapons, such that the ease with which people can go into public spaces and shoot and kill others is now regarded as just another item on the news, because we promote profit in the manufacture and trade of guns and weapons, of non-communicable diseases that strike down our people in the most insidious of ways, because we allow diets that promote the prosperity of a few multinational corporations to become the norm of the day, with the food that we eat and the lives that we live. And in the case within our own community, Belize and Guyana continue to face challenges to their territorial integrity. I suppose people feel that because we have talked so long about Belize and Guyana and Cuba, that we can continue to talk about climate change and these other things, and that it is okay for it to be another tick on a UN General Assembly speech. These are all threats to our stability, to the people's stability in our lands. But you know, since last we met, there are other instances and circumstances, not of our making, that may yet destabilize us. And we say it over and over, but we ask, who is listening? And you know, we don't come with tales of woe only. The Caribbean has produced excellence. It really has. Nobel laureates, sportsmen who have excelled and are the best in the world of their type, artists, the best in the world of their type, leaders who have inspired previous generations and current generations. We don't come here as a proud people asking for handouts. We don't want and will not be mendicant. What we want, no, what we need is fiscal and policy space. Fiscal and policy space to achieve sustainable development, to be nimble, to adapt, and to innovate in ways that allow us to be true and faithful to the task of bringing prosperity to our people, or as in the theme of this General Assembly, to eradicate poverty, to educate our people, to include all such that there's not some outside and some inside. We want an international order equally that recognizes that there must be different policy prescriptions to suit the circumstances that we all have. And we can still be friends, small and large, north and south, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, all different races, all genders. An equitable and just international order that is truly built on the principles of justice and fairness for all and not just for some. A United Nations that recognizes that as 74 years old, we must be able to have difficult conversations as mature people and solve them. Many in the developing world were persuaded or required to abandon policies that were designed for the majority of our population to be transformed. And those policies were fashioned to adopt a consensus that was settled in Washington, D.C. and named thereafter. And that ultimately, regrettably, was about the consolidation of wealth in the hands of a very few. And that's why we have seen the growing inequality that we have seen in the world over the last few decades. That is why too many people over the world have become cynical about governments and about the benefits that they can bring to them. The fueling of the greed of a few threatens to undermine what little gains we have made since independence. And we judge ourselves harshly because independence is a recent phenomenon for us. Others who have taken 150 years to get where they have gotten are still stumbling and falling. And you want to judge those who have had less than 50 or 60 years to operate in a world that has not been made in their image and that does not reflect their interests. This is the fate, my friends, of simply too many. And Mr. President, despite our small sizes, the 14 countries of the Caribbean community have been able to play leadership roles of international import. I can't stand here today without talking about St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that has become the smallest nation of the world ever to be elected to the Security Council to sit on it. We are proud of them. In addition, and I want to speak to this, because when CARICOM was confronted with the unfolding situation in Venezuela, I accompanied the then chairman of CARICOM, the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, as well as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, to meet in this building with the UN Secretary General in January of this year. And we met with many delegations, and some said we were wasting our time, and some said the time for talk was already over. And we said then, as we say almost 9 months later, the time for dialogue, the time for talk, my friends, can never be over in a world that wants peace and prosperity. We don't take sides, but what we know is that you cannot propel war over dialogue. The people of Venezuela must be allowed to decide their own future in accordance with the principles of the United Nations Charter. Principles of non-intervention, non-interference, prohibition of the threat or use of force, respect for the rule of law, human rights, and democracy. It is regrettable that other multilateral organizations have not followed their own charters. And that is what makes the actions of our Secretary General of the UN more laudable, for refusing to breach his own charter and take actions even though member states have hurled into the recognition of those unelected. Our Caribbean Sea must remain a zone of peace, and for that we shall fight. Mr. President, I speak plainly and without fear, because from independence, Barbados' foreign policy has been premised on the simple principle of friends of all, satellites of none. Barbados, therefore, has always remained and will remain proud to have Cuba as a treasured friend.
Don't think you're gonna come and sell our resources again for cheap, for us to sit down and welcome you the next 4 years. It's not gonna happen. The people are awake. A huge change is about to come, people. So, as politicians, if you think you have power, I am telling you, if 10 million people come together, it's over for you, okay? We are going to get in contact with the military, and we are going to beg the military to stand behind us, because we need them. The militaries also need a change. They need to protect a government that is for the people, not a government that is against the people. African people, we do not want to be divided again. We believe in brotherhood and sisterhood, and we will stand for what is right. We do not care about money anymore. We will not accept any bribe from anyone to honor life for our people, to sabotage our people. We will not do that because we have realized that money is not everything. We have realized that you people are taking advantage of us. You do not care about us. You take your girlfriends to Dubai, to all these amazing places. You enjoy yourself. You see your people struggling on the street, sleeping on the street, cleaning the street, working 7/24, working 24/7. And you know that they are suffering, but you don't even help them. Are you not ashamed, African leaders? Where is your heart? Where is the heart that God gave you? Do you have one, African leaders? The corruption is too much, please. Stop selling our resources so cheap. God gave us those resources for a reason. Africa is not a poor continent. The people are poor. The people are poor because of you, African leaders. Because you think about your pocket. And African people, please listen to me. I hope this message gets to you. Please do not vote for any presidential candidate who come and talk rubbish and tell you that he's gonna build road. I'm sorry, building road is a normal thing to do as a leader. We need a government that stands with the people, a government that cares for the country, a government that wants to see its people do well. We need a government that has the same common interest as us. Enough is enough. The embarrassment is enough. The racism is enough. The discrimination is enough. The tribalism is enough. We, the people, have decided to put our interests on the side. We have decided to put all this tribalism, religion, and all that aside. We have decided to respect each other's religion and respect each other's culture and come together with the same common interest to make Africa great. And if you, an African leader, if you don't have that interest with us, we will not vote for you. So don't you think in your skull that you're gonna come and tell us you're gonna build water, electricity, and all those nonsense for us to cast our vote for you. That is not gonna happen. And to the old government, the old leaders, please retire and go and enjoy somewhere with your wives. We want young leaders. We do not want any old man from the age of 70 to 90 to come in power. Please take a break. Go to Maldives or something. Go to Seychelles and have a break, for Christ's sake. African people, vote for someone who can help us. Someone who can take full control of the country. Someone who do not need any foreigners to support him. Someone who knows what he's doing. Someone who is fearless. Someone who is bold. Someone who is passionate. Someone who cares. Because it's 2024 and you and I are still suffering. It's 2024 and we are still divided. It's 2024 and all our people all over the world are struggling. So if we don't come together to do what is right, then what is the point to complain about racism? What is the point to complain about discrimination? What is the point to complain about corruption? It is not the government to do anything for us. It's us, the people, that need to stand up against these corrupt leaders and march on the street for them to know that, hey, we are united and you cannot break us. Guys, if you take a stick and you can easily break it, but if you put 20, 30 sticks together, You can never break it. It will be difficult. This is the thing I'm saying about unity. This is my point, people. If we unite, I'm not asking you to come and love me and say hello to me every day. But if we can have the same common interest to make our nation great, I think that we will be on the right path to a good future, to a bright future for our next generation to come and live like kings and queens that we are. And not to suffer like slaves, because that's what we still are. I'm sorry, but if you have gold and diamond on your land and you need somebody to come and take your gold and diamond and give you the owner 10% and they take 90%, are you still not a slave? You are, because you do not know the value of your resources. You do not know. African leaders, enough is enough. Congo, we are coming for you, Congo. Hold on tight. The people are going to march for you. The people are going to scream for you. The people are going to fight for you. And whichever country you are that is struggling, we are coming to be behind you, my sisters and brothers. That is how it should be. And if you are against this message, it means that you are not for unity and we don't need you around. If you think that you know that you are African, but you say you are not African, we don't need you around, sis. We're not going to force anybody to be with us. We're going to call the people that has same common interests as us. You understand? That is what is going to happen now. So Congo, hold on tight. We're not going to sit down for our people to go down. That is impossible. Anywhere that is suffering, any country that is suffering, that has our people there, we are going to support our people. And if you love the message that I'm putting out, please use your platform to continue that same message so that it can reach many people. Stop complaining, African people. Stop pointing fingers at the white man. The white man also wants profit. He's not going to come and take your oil and your gold out of the ground for free. They also need their money. So if you want to make money, you need to build your own refineries. You need to build your own infrastructures. Okay? Thank you. It is time, people. Some of us are frustrated and we are tired. Enough is enough. And anybody who has something to say against what I'm saying,
So welcome back, my people. So guys, I hope that you have watched the powerful message from Mia Mottley. I think I like this because she's exposing those corrupt leaders. You know, there are some corrupt leaders who are hiding in the government. So she exposes them and she's telling them to do the right thing. She's telling them to do what they are being elected to do. Guys, you've seen that Jamaicans are really complaining about they are going through a lot right now. Their prime minister has allowed the Chinese to come in and they are doing businesses without paying taxes, you know. So what these Chinese have done is that they are opening big businesses. Those businesses, they are big, and what they does is that they sell their thing at a cheaper price, you know. So when they sell things at a cheaper price, they win the heart of many Jamaicans, leaving the local Jamaican leaving the local Jamaica without selling the work to be down, you know. So these Chinese have come to Jamaica and have really overshadowed the other Jamaican who works in Jamaica. So these Chinese, what they do is that they don't invest in Chinese. They don't invest in Jamaica. What they did is like they do their work in Jamaica, but the money they are not investing in Jamaica, and they're investing in their land. So these Chinese, they are being allowed by the Prime Minister of Jamaica to come and work for 5 years without paying taxes. So the other local Jamaican cannot compete. You cannot compete, guys, with someone who is not paying taxes. That guy has big industry. He or she is selling things at a lower prices, you know. So many Jamaicans are now switching to this. They are now buying their goods to these Chinese people because their goods are at a cheaper price and compared to the other Jamaican businessmen. So the Prime Minister of Jamaica has really made their people to suffer because many people have now become jobless. Some people have really tried to open their businesses, but these Chinese people have come out and they have started their business and they are lowering their prices. And the bad thing is that they are not even investing in Jamaica. They are investing back in their motherland. They are investing in Jamaica. And one thing again I've seen is that the Prime Minister of Jamaica, her wife is the member of the parliament and is also the speaker. You have seen that they are practicing nepotism. You cannot be the Prime Minister and then you have a family member, your wife is the speaker in the court, you know. You are practicing nepotism and you are going to not allow opposition at least to make some money. I've seen that even they are turning off the mic if you have something to, maybe in Jamaica you have an agenda, you know, the speaker cannot allow it because she knows that if it will pass, it will hinder her husband, it will hinder his husband. So she will not allow any agenda. She does not allow opposition to make any say or to prove a point or even to come out with the idea, because she really knows that if she allows that, his husband will be like, the opposition thinks that they are trying to make it will hinder her husband. So guys, you have seen that nowadays there's a lot of people are practicing nepotism and are very corrupt. Like they want to benefit themselves. We have seen in Jamaica, like there is nepotism. Those leaders, they will not be serving people. Like they will try to build themselves. Like they will be focusing on themselves. So guys, we have to reunite and try to stop these people, because these people are really using our own resources. Like they are selling out our lands and they are benefiting themselves. So we need to stand up. But I'm happy because nowadays we have Gen Z. You know, Gen Zs are very good because they are not fearing these leaders. Like they are telling them the truth. They're telling them we need to have this, we need to have this. I've seen a Jamaican, my last I've uploaded a video. The Jamaican are very sad because you cannot have like a family member, like a family is controlling the whole Jamaica, you know. So they'll be doing what they want, not what they are required to do. They'll be doing what they want because they know they have a backup. The Prime Minister of Jamaica knows that she has a backup in the court and nothing will be passed through, because the speaker is the one that allows anything to pass through the court. But so guys, I know that during election, don't elect people because you're being bribed. Don't elect people because you've been given something for free. You know, these people during election, they are really good people. They give a lot of promises. They're saying like, we will do this, they will be free, like free education, they will be free, you know, just to win the hearts of many people. But when they get these seats, guys, these people really change. They change a lot. They don't even focus on people. Like they're focusing on benefiting themselves. So guys, during election, kindly choose someone that you feel like is the right one. Is the right one that can lead and can help many people, because you see now Jamaica is really suffering. Businessmen and women in Jamaica are really suffering since these Chinese are like taking over Jamaica, and they are opening big industry, big market, and they are making the local Jamaicans not to have sales to the. So Mia Motley, I think she's doing the right thing, exposing those leaders. These leaders who are hiding in the government. They are cheeky leaders. They are puppet. They are hiding in the government. And what I like about Mia Motley is that she has come out straightforward. And when she was addressing, she exposed them and she told them that you need to serve what you are being told to serve. You need to serve the people. You need to do what you promise the people, because nowadays many leaders are very cheeky, like they want to benefit themselves. We have seen even here in Africa how the leaders are very corrupt. They don't want to get out of power, but if they get this power, they are misusing it by changing and benefiting from themselves. So guys, if it's the first time coming across my video, feel free to share, comment, and also don't forget to subscribe. And I want to appreciate, for the returning ones, guys, I want to appreciate you for the support that you have provided me with, and God bless you. And for the new ones, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can watch more videos. And I want to appreciate you guys for the subscribers and the support that you have provided me with. So guys, share it to your friends, share it so that we can stop this bad leadership, and Africa needs to have good leadership, and even other lands need to have good leadership. So guys, stay safe. One love.